This section we're going to talk about padding in upholstered furniture. So the way the frame is padded, it not only affects its comfort, but its durability. So before we apply that top pretty fabric, it's important that the frame be padded so that there is no place that that fabric is touching any wood. So to prevent the ultimate wear of the fabric, we add subtle softness to the piece. There we use cotton, polydacron, duck down, waterfowl down, and different types of feathers to create this. So let's look at some of the following combinations of materials. This first one we look at has a high resilience polyurethane foam core. It is thicker. It is wrapped with a poly fiber, which is usually glued to the core, and then it's inserted into the casing. Now this thicker foam core usually adds stability to the seat. It's a firmer seat, and it helps keep the shape of the cushion. The next one we look at is the coil springs. Now we just learned about those in other types of furnishings, but these springs are not 8-way hand tied. They're quite literally, they're encased in muslin pockets, and then these pockets are stitched together. Now once this is assembled, it's inserted into a box that's fabricated from polyurethane foam. And then that unit is again wrapped in more fiber, and then on this particular one there's another down-proof muslin case that's wrapped around that fiber. Now on the top section and the bottom section, that's filled with polyester fiber, waterfowl feathers, white duck feathers, and then of course the last thing is our fabric. This gives a softer seat to where you're actually sitting, and then the springs gives it some resiliency. This is a medium padding. So when you sit on it, it's kind of like that Three Bear stories. One's too soft, one's too hard, the other one may be too soft. This is kind of that middle ground. The last one we're looking at, this is all a filling of polyester fiber, waterfowl feathers, white duck down, and then it's encased in a down-proof casing. We want to make sure that that's a down-proof casing, so the quills, if there's any sharp quills left in here, that when you sit down you're not getting poked. Nobody likes that feeling. Now this is a very soft cushion because it's a feather pillow, quite literally. These are the ones that you quite literally, once somebody sat on them a time or two, you have to pick them up and fluff them back into shape. They're very soft. Another type of filling is fiber fill, and all this fiber fill is encased in a muslin casing, and then of course again you have your decorative fabrics on the outside. Of course you can see that this one is going to be a lower cost because we don't have those springs and feathers that add to the cost of it. Another section is a high density foam core again. This one is a little smaller, and then it's wrapped with the poly fiber. It's inserted into a down-proof muslin casing, and then on the top and the bottom section is filled with the poly and the feathers again. Now you notice that I'm saying that these are filled on the top and the bottom. We don't have any on the sides. This is where you're sitting. So we have the softness on the top and the bottom because we have a tendency to flip our cushions back and forth. So this is a little softer seating. And of course, since we're using polyfill instead of coils, it keeps the cost down. Again, about a medium seating. And the last one, this thinner foam core in the center that has a thicker layer of poly around it. And then this one has the feathers that wrap all the way around it on the tops and the sides. So it has that more cush to the fronts and the backs and the side. And of course we have our muslin that's down-proof, and then our decorative fabrics. So you can quite literally see by the structure of what's in these cushions whether it's going to be a hard seat, a medium seat, a very soft seat. And we want to pay attention to what's in here, because quite literally we're designing for people again. So who is the client? A lot of times we'll look at it and go, oh, the person is older. We're going to get them a nice feather seat. Well, it may not be the best idea because that nice feather seat, when they sit in it, is going to keep sinking and sinking and sinking, and then they can't get out of it. We don't want to create it too hard of a seat for an older person because if they're sitting there for any extended time, their little skin is thinner. So that's where we might want to look at doing somewhere in the middle, something that they can get out of on their own and not sink into. So again, look at your client. You're designing for the person. What is the right softness or firmness for that person? Look at their abilities or their disabilities, their age. What do they need? Okay, this box cushion has an attached back with wooden legs. Of course, there's no skirt, so we see this wooden decorative part. This is called a box cushion because when I pull this section out, this cushion, it's in the shape of a box. Now I can't tell whether the back is attached to the chair or not in the photograph, but sometimes you will have this as a loose back or an attached back. Attached back quite literally means that this is sewn to the back of the chair. You can't pull this cushion out. If you want to know, pull up on it. If it's sewn in, it's an attached back. This is a tea cushion with the loose back. This quite literally, you can tell, is not sewn to the back of the chair. This cushion comes out. The reason that this is called a tea cushion is that when I pull this cushion out, it quite literally is in the shape of a T. Now the legs are hidden in this one because it has a skirt, and these details are commonly termed dressmakers. Now while we're on these two, I wanted to look at the arms. I know that we're looking at cushions, but look how far the arms sit back on the tea cushion as opposed to the box cushion. That box cushion, these arms sit right up even with the front. Tea cushion, they sit back. Again, look at your client. Are they someone who actually needs assistance standing? If they are, these usually are set too far back for someone to put their hands on and help push themselves up. These, the arms go all the way up. They can scoot to the front of the chair, use the arms as an assistance to rise. Again, look at your client. What are their needs? Thank you.